Hey guys, it's the newest Arts here, coming at you with a tutorial on the basics of a YouTube setup. Basically, you need a couple things, one of which is the ability to record your gameplay or whatever you want. It's kind of hard to do with consoles, maybe not with the Xbox One with the next gen stuff, but you'll need like a video capture device for computer to at least go from your console to your computer. If you're doing computer games, it's a little simpler. Just get the software to get it, capture it from your computer. There's a couple of them out there. I use two. One of them's free and one of them is not. The program I'm using currently that's allowing me to do this it's called OBS, or Open Broadcast Software. I'll pull it over here and bam, I'm using OBS. Crazy. But this is completely free, and you can actually use this for Twitch streaming and all this other stuff. It's really, really cool. But this is what I'm using right now. But there's another program called Fraps. You'll see right here. This is like $40, and this does my high definition or higher definition videos. For example, my Far Cry 4 video was recorded with Fraps. The only problem is this one, Open Broadcast or OBS, it has a compressor on it, which means the file sizes are much smaller and are more easy to deal with. Fraps is a little different. It records in a lossless format, which means it's huge. The file sizes are ginormous, like to the point where 1 minute and 30 seconds is 4 gigs. It's ridiculously large. But, I wouldn't recommend it if you don't have a whole lot of space. My Far Cry 4 video took 100 gigs worth of footage just to do. So, just saying. But I would recommend OBS because it's free, and it also has that compression thing. It also has that compression aspect to it. That's my software to record. I also have another piece of software that I use for recording, and that's recording audio, and currently is recording audio because I like to work in it better than OBS, is Audacity, or Audition, my bad. I'll tell you about Audacity later. But Adobe Audition, it is a pretty expensive program, but you can get it on the Creative Cloud, Adobe Creative Cloud. I will put links in the description for everything I'm going to show you guys, but I like using Audition because it has a whole lot of tools and all that stuff, and it really helps with recording and editing, and I love audio, so this really helps. And later tutorials I'll actually teach you how to EQ something, what you're listening for, how to EQ a voice, and I might even get into showing you guys how to EQ instruments and all this other stuff. So yeah, that's all later. But this is just a tutorial on basic YouTube setup stuff. So anyway, another program that you can use to record was what I was mentioning earlier, is Audacity. It is free. It's a free audio recording program, and you can do a lot with it. It's not as powerful and as high quality as Audition, but it is very good, especially because it's free. Free. You don't have to pay for it. So it's really good. It's really good stuff. I'm not really sure too much on free video editing software, and I'll show you that next. I'm using Premiere Pro from Adobe. It's all stuff that I use. So this is actually pretty expensive as well, but I'm not quite sure on any free ones. If you know of any, share them, please, because other people might need them. But the only video editing software that I like using, and the only one I know of, which I got for free, is Premiere, and I'm actually Final Cut Pro certified, but I don't feel like spending the $200 to get that. So I'm running Premiere. So that is what it is. But the next thing you'll need is a audio recording setup. I'm using an XLR setup, which means I have an XLR mic and a audio interface, and I'll show you things right there. I'm using an Audix F12 right now, but I have a couple mics coming in the mail. I've been using this one for all my other videos, and it's done me pretty well, but it's not made for doing this kind of stuff. It's actually a drum microphone. This particular one is used for the underside of a snare, so a snare drum. So this mic is not meant for this. Another way you can go is a USB microphone, which would cut out the middleman. By that, I mean you don't need an audio interface like the one I have right here, the Tascam US 1800. Mine's kind of more expensive. Mine's like the $300 one, but you can get them at Guitar Center or my favorite place, which would be, it's called sweetwater.com, right here. I'm not sponsored or anything, but these guys are really, really cool. All of their stuff is legit. It's very good quality stuff. Wide range of products, but from cheap to really, really expensive. And it's just really cool. And on top of that, just as a side note, I mean, they send you candy when you order. It's awesome. It's really awesome, actually. But I'll give you an example of a USB microphone from here. Everything on here is from Sweetwater, just to give you some prices and whatever. This is a blue snowball microphone. You've probably seen these everywhere. But this is a USB microphone. Doesn't really... It looks pretty cool, but as you can see, it does not have an XLR input. It's actually USB. So you don't need an audio interface. Here's another one that it's a lot cheaper. It's only $40. You know, something that's all you need to. It's all you really need, honestly. If you know what you're doing, it's all you need is a cheap microphone to do YouTube stuff. Not really crazy. An example of an XLR setup would be something similar to something to this, the Audio-Technica AT2020. Very simple, a very simple XLR microphone. I have a couple large diaphragm mics coming in. This isn't really a large diaphragm. This is just what's called a condenser microphone. The ones I have coming in are large diaphragm condensers, which means this little round part right here is bigger. But condenser microphones, I'll probably do a video on the different types of microphones, you know, the ribbon, condenser, tube, dynamic. You know, I mean, you have all kinds of different kinds of microphones. So, but this is condenser, which means it needs phantom power, but your audio interface will have that, so it's not too crazy. But you can get super cheap on your audio interface, like say this one. It's the ART X Connect. It's basically a USB cord with an XLR end, XLR female end. Really not a whole lot there. Super cheap, $30. That's actually really cheap for audio interfaces. But I would recommend going with this one right here, or anything like this. It's a box type. You can see it's got all these gizmosies and all that. But one XLR input, $50. Not too crazy. But again, you need it if you want to go XLR. And the reason why you might want to go XLR, higher quality. XLR microphones, they have a lot more quality to them, and they're not as durable somewhat. The dynamic ones are, like this drum microphone. I mean, a condenser microphone's a lot more sensitive, like the ones I have coming in, and they're a lot more sensitive, but with their sensitivity, they're also a lot clearer. So, I mean, that's all about your price points and all this other stuff, but this is like a simple setup. And, you know, it's not too bad. I mean, not super expensive. And if you have just like a regular USB mic, you're cutting out, so much money. Like again, if you go here, you're spending the $40, but you're not also spending another $50 for an interface. All you need is that little, just the USB. So, I mean, it's really up to you. What do you want? Quality or simplicity? I mean, you can't really have too much of both, but yep. So that's really just like the basic setup. If as you can tell, I don't have a webcam, so it's not too crazy. But if you want, I mean, OBS does a really good job. I mean, you can put anything you want on there. Like I'm doing this right there. I just did that. I could make this right here. I could make this right here, the camera picture, and then put it up in the corner over here if I wanted and all that stuff. So it's not too crazy. It's really cool. But one last thing I will talk about is if you are doing commentary and stuff like that, you do need headphones, especially if you're doing gameplay stuff. This is because the audio will bleed, what's called bleeding, into your microphone. You don't want it there because the audio is already being captured by either OBS or Fraps or whatever you're using. And if it's going through your speakers and also into your microphone, you'll have a weird doubling effect, especially if you don't sync it right, and it'll just sound really terrible. So I have a pair of AKGs right there. AKG K141 Mark IIs. Not too expensive, like $130. If you're into the whole webcam thing and you don't want to have headphones in or headphones visible, but because you still need them, if you don't want them visible, I would go with a pair of these. These are Shure SE215s. These are on-stage IEMs, or in-ear monitors. They hide very well. I use them at work every day, and people can't tell that I have them in. They're meant to go behind your ear and down your back, so they're nicely hidden. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not too crazy. In later videos, I'm going to show you how to do some basic EQing, especially for your voice, because there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. And if you don't do it right, it sounds like crap. And if you want to get into this, you want to be the best you can. So with that all being said, I will catch you all later. Deuces.